Hi, Rohan. I have a few questions I'd like to ask you on behalf of CA Final students regarding SPUM law exam.
Yeah. Hi, Yanshu. Thanks for representing the question on behalf of all the CA final students. Please ask your questions.
Yeah, so I prepared the questions I'd like to ask you. My first question is I'm currently pursuing my horticulture. So when should I give the SPUM exam?
So, Yanshu, first of all, at least during your articleship period, try to complete all the SPM modules which you have, and before going to the study leaves, try to complete all the modules. And when you are on your study leaves, just focus on your those 6 subjects which you have.
How much time do you think is required to be given to the module?
In my case, I gave 7 days to the ICI module to practice all the MCQs. And however, prior to that, you have to watch the revision video of each chapter.
So what you did was you gave 7 days after watching the ICI compulsory videos and then you gave the exam.
Yes, that's right. What I did was I first watched the revision videos of each chapter, then gave the 7 days to practice all the MCQs from the ICI module and the other sources.
Okay. So what other resources did you refer for practicing other than the ICI module?
For reading, I referred the Harsh Gupta sir chart book and also Hemant Somani sir summary book of 90 pages that contains the limit and timelines.
And for MCQs in particular, what did you refer other than the module?
For MCQ, first I practiced all the MCQs from the ICI module and then I gave 2 mock tests of ICI provided on their website.
Is the syllabus of CA Intermediate Law and CA Final Law, are they similar to each other or is it completely new to what we have studied before?
Yes. So there are key concepts there are some concepts which are similar. However, all the chapters are completely new for the CA Intermediate students.
So in short, we have to start from scratch in CA Final.
Yes, definitely. You have to start from the scratch.
Okay. So I have another question in my mind, how much syllabus is required to be covered? Should we target the entire syllabus or 60 to 70% is enough?
If your target is just to pass the exam, then the 60 to 70% portion is enough. But in that 60 to 70% coverage, you have to pick the important chapters. And if your target is not just to pass the exam, but to get the knowledge from this law module, then my suggestion would be try to cover each chapter from this module.
So what are the most important topics according to you that we just can't skip?
According to me, in the ICI module 1, there are first 2 chapters that is related to directors and managerial remuneration, and chapter number 7 that is miscellaneous provisions are very important. And in module 2, securities law are very important because in the securities law there were a lot of questions were asked from me in my SPM exam related to penalties. So that part is very important.
फिर तो मैं यही टॉपिक्स करके जाऊंगा. Coming to the next question. So when should I schedule the exam? Should I schedule it straight away after watching the ICM NEC videos? Or after that, should I revise 30 to 40% syllabus and then schedule the exam?
Ideally, you should take 10 to 12 days just after completing the ICI mandatory videos and then schedule your exam. 10 to 12 days after completing the ICI mandatory videos.
So according to you, 10 to 12 days is sufficient after watching the videos?
Yes, 10 to 12 days is sufficient because in my case, what I did was I gave 3 days for the revision videos and the last 7 days for the practice of MCQs.
And what revision videos did you refer other than ICM?
Other than ICI, I referred Harsh Gupta sir revision videos for the company law, and for the second ICI module, I referred Shubham Singhal sir revision videos.
Okay. So don't mind me asking, you failed in your first SPOM exam.
ये क्या याद दिला रहा है?
So I just want to know what mistakes did you make the first time around that we shouldn't repeat in our exams? And what did you learn from it?
Actually, the mistake I made was while preparing for my first attempt, I was not focused on 1 or 2 materials. So when I failed, I realized that you should focus on 1 or 2 materials to study.
So is finishing 1 or 2 materials enough? Or should we look for some other sources also for practicing the MCQs?
Yeah, just completing your 1 or 2 material. You can give the mock test provided by the ICI on their website.
Are they really helpful?
Yeah, it is useful because you may find the same question, similar questions in your SPM exam, but you have practice in the mock. And also it is useful in your time management because you can realize how much time you have to give for a particular MCQ, for a one MCQ during your SPM exam.
Yeah. I have the last question in my mind. Do you think it's important to watch the revision videos that you just told us about? Or can we just proceed with self-study too?
Yes, you can proceed that way. However, I will suggest that you should watch some revision videos prior to self-study.
Okay, that's all my questions, Rohan. Thank you so much for giving your guidance.
Thank you. Thank you, Riyansh.
Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Rohan Madan. I am a 21-year-old chartered accountant with an All India rank 38 in my CA final attempt May 2024. He is Riyanshu Jain, a CA final student who has asked the question on behalf of all the students. Thank you, Riyanshu.
Pleasure to meet you, Rohan. Thank you so much for this. And this is definitely going to help a lot of students.